All right, hello everyone. Here we are setting up for hole 8. Now what I'm probably going to recommend is probably sniper. We'll see. Let me bring quarterback just in case. I really just want to at least cover my bases. For the most part, I know you get very close to max sniper. What I do recommend usually is maybe, let me just put it up to plus 20%. You know, we are shooting down to a lower target. I know that. There's no, that part's undeniable. So it means you're going to have to do some kind of overcorrection because of shooting to a lower target. So about 20% might cover it. Ooh, good. That's what I was hoping for. So a side wind. So you're going to see that we're going to kind of be more towards mid club here. Maybe mid to max. So you can see with whatever my wind is, mid kind of matches up 1 to 1. So I'm going to watch my opponent here, but I would expect that very close to 1 to 1 fashion should be pretty good for the adjustment, since we are more towards mid with a mid 20% value. Now you can see my opponent's curling it. What I'm going to recommend that you guys do is offset the guide. So I didn't get to see how many rings my opponent went, but you know, just for sake of argument, we are going to just look at this real quick. So there's max, there's might be 60% somewhere. 11.1, 12.2 at 12.2. So I am going to just try to see if that 20%, now keep in mind that you do have to offset this guide, so that's what you're seeing, and that's kind of what you saw my opponent didn't do. So you got to make sure that you have this definitely offset. And 12.2-ish rings, 5. Getting a little tight on time. We're going to have to rotate the screen the other direction. So you can see it looks still pretty good. It looks like I did get it in that situation, but there you can see that the wind still takes it way over to the side. So I played it maybe 3 grids, and I probably want to go at least an extra 2. Also keep in mind that where I'm landing is kind of a low void. So do turn your screen the other direction if you're going to go that route, which I suggest that you do. We're going to probably try to do everything similar, and you know, plus 20% add mid club is kind of what I was using for my adjustment, so that's where I was trying to go for that 12.2. It should be relatively spot on for you guys. Shooting down to that lower target, it looked pretty good. The only thing that, you know, the hardest part is going to be getting that wind effect down and trying to, you know, counter that wind. So the lower you get that wind 5 balls are going to be a staple. So not to mention, what's actually going to end up happening with a wind 5 ball, let's talk about this a little bit. So first off, you're going to come more up and you'll be kind of more towards a little bit closer to max, but you'll change your power number. It's still kind of, it's a wash. So you can see there, in this case, it's still 12.1. So it's going to be about the same in terms of ring play as to how many you need to go, because what did I mention? That I needed to go 12.2. And you can see as I move up more towards max, since I'm using a lower power ball, that's going to change, you know, the spectrum. But in terms of ring play, it's going to be the same factor of wind. But let's say we get this down to a 6 mile per hour. Now, it probably won't be 6. Let's put in 7 miles per hour just in case, you know, 7.5. I'm only going to need to go 7.9 rings. It's going to be much more manageable. It's going to be one movement. So just to get that initial ring down, just to kind of, you know, get me set in the ballpark. You know, I used the power 3 ball with the, you know, but for tomorrow, you know, I'll start thinking about wind 4 balls, because if I was going to play Masters, you know, I don't have time to really play my accounts, but if I was, then I'd only be using wind 4 or wind 5 balls. It's going to give me that extra edge to potentially win and banner much easier in the Masters division. So highly recommend that for all 3 par 3s. But what I usually tend to do on Monday is just come out with Kingmakers so I can save some of those balls, since I know I'm not qualifying anyway. Just make sure that the wind is actually playing kind of in the general vicinity of how much that I think it is. So as long as I get close on my ring adjustments, then I'm like, okay, so I have the scaling down. All I need to do now is lower the wind, get a little bit more precise. So that's usually the strategy that I use and encourage you guys to do similarly. So good luck with that 8th hole, guys, and let me know how it goes. Catch you guys for hole 9 coming up.